All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Kalkadat. Double honor to the apostles and elders of the millstone, shalom to the active and the true apostle, may be listening to your brother, the Kalkalah from the gym, this campaign, Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson from the spirit and power, of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this will be a quick and edifying lesson. All right, and as we're in the time of the Passover, this lesson, Salakia, this lesson is titled, We Are Constantly in the Passover State of Mind. All right. Lord willing, we're going to get these precepts and it'll be edifying. This is Exodus chapter 3 and verse 7. It says, And Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. All right. And today, you know, the United States is the modern day Sodom, Egypt, Rome, all those things in the one, you know. But as we know, Egypt is synonymous with bondage, being in captivity for us, and that's where we are here. We're in our last captivity, underneath these Edomites. All right, so the scriptures refer to America as Egypt, as the daughter of Babylon, as modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, all these things. Okay, like for that noise, but yeah, we're in Egypt right now, because we're in captivity. And we're sighing, the righteous men are sighing and crying, and the Lord hears that, just like He heard that back in those times. You know, this is verse 8. It says, And I come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of their land unto a good land, a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. All right, so hey, Yahweh Shai, the Lord is sending Yahweh Shai back, just like He sent Yahweh Shai to deliver us from Egypt, because that's who was, in the light by day, or the pillar of clouds by day, and the light by night was the chariot. Yahweh Shai was in that chariot, guiding us out of Egypt, protecting us from Pharaoh and all the other wicked ass people that was trying to destroy us. All right, but it's the same thing that's going to happen here. All right, the Lord is going to send Yahweh Shai back with a fleet of chariots and on the fathership first and foremost. Hey man, and this place is going to be destroyed, and the elect are going to get delivered, man, and that's what we hoping for. This is verse 9. It says, Now therefore, behold the cry in Salakia. And when I say hope, I don't mean hope as in we hope it happens. We know it's going to happen. We're hoping that we're a part of that number that gets delivered, just for clarification's sake. We know Yahweh Shai is coming back to destroy this place. What we hope for is an opportunity to be a part of the elect. This is verse 9. It says, Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. All right, so the Lord sees everything and He hears everything. And that's why doing this work is so important. All right, that's why doing these lessons is so important. Praying is so important. It's like let this train go by real quick. Salakia, brothers, real quick. One second. It's my apologies out from I'm downtown. So the train's going by is going to be a factor. But I just want to get this on wax real quick. This is Exodus. Salakia. But as I was saying, the Lord hears our sighs and cries. All right, He sees the things that these devils are doing, and that's why it's important that we do this work. That's why it's important that we renew our minds and that we have a mind state that's the opposite of the mind state of the people in this place, man. Because hey, at the end of the day, we trying to get out of here. All right. We're not here to set up shop. We're not here to build communities. We're not here to get cozy. You know, we're waiting for your house to come back so we can go home, right? Because we have no continuing city. We have no continuing city here, as the scriptures say. You know, this place is not meant for us to rest here. This is not our rest. We're here to be in captivity, all right? And until the Lord comes or sends your house back to deliver us from that, you know, we're going to be sighing and crying to get out of here. All right, this is Exodus 9 and 4. It says, And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So, hey, the Lord is keeping tally, all right, on who's with this and who's not. All right, as the scriptures say, you know, this is a roughly paraphrasing, but if a woman is raped and she cries out, then she's not put to death. She's the man who raped her is put to death, and the woman is, you know, acquitted of the of any suspicion of her being adulterous, all right? And she's allowed to carry on with her life. But if a woman gets raped and she doesn't cry out, hey, she's put to death as an adulteress, and so is that man that raped her, all right? So that's why it's important for us to cry out, because these devils have taken us into their possession and are doing all manner of things to us, man. All right, whether it's the food, whether it's the unjust and unrighteous decrees, setting the woman over us, you know, just overall tormenting us and putting us under rigorous captivity. Okay, this is verse 5. It says, And the others he said, it's like, and to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So if you here having a good time with these devils and enjoying this wickedness, the Lord is going to put you down, man, as an Israelite. If you're an Israelite by blood, all right, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and you speckled birds that's scattered among the other nations, if you're an Israelite, you're going to be put to death if you're not sighing and crying about what's happening here and trying to get the fuck out of here. All right, plain and simple. All right, it says, Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right, so hey, the Lord is not discriminatory when it comes to this judgment. The only ones that are going to be spared are the ones that are sighing and crying. Everybody else is getting destroyed, whether you're a woman, a child, old, young, it don't matter. All right, it's Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. So, okay, let's just go by real quick. Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart. Better is the end of the thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. All right, so hey, this place is making us crazy. We hate these people. We hate this place. All right, and not crazy to the sense where we don't have control of ourselves, but we constantly being vexed, man. That plays a factor on your mental state. Okay, although we keep our cool and we don't do nothing crazy or drastic, we still dealing with it, man. All right, but hey, the Lord is looking for those that's being patient, that's waiting on Him, not people that's trying to put matters into their own hands, trying to come against Esau on their own. All right, people in that Judas Iscariot spirit that want to force the Lord's hand prematurely. The Lord is not dealing with that. All right, the Lord is dealing with those who are going to wait on Him, man, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we preach. All right, we're here to just preach this word and sigh and cry to the Lord and wait for Him to make His move. We're not attacking nobody. We're not coming against anybody physically. We're not doing none of that. All right. This is verse 9. It says, Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. All right. So, hey, we're not in a rush to attack these devils, man. We're not allowing our emotions to get the best of us. We're waiting on Yahweh Shai once again. It's Malachi 4 and 1. It says, For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And that day cometh, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. All right, so the Lord's coming back to destroy this place. We understand that. We're looking forward to that. That's why we sighing and crying, and that's why we're constantly in this Passover state of mind of trying to get the fuck out of here. This is verse 2. It says, But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall. So, hey, those of us that's doing the righteous thing, and Lord willing, we continue and endure to the end, Those are going to be the ones that get delivered by Yahweh Shai. All right. And Lord willing, like I said, we all be at that number. This is verse 3. It says, "And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashed under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith Yahweh of hosts." So, hey, once Yahweh Shai comes back and the Lord puts this place under judgment, that's when we'll be able to do our thing. That's when we'll be able to partake in giving our enemies what they deserve, man. But until then, we're not going to be able to do that. We're going to have to wait, sigh and cry, and separate ourselves from these people and from this place spiritually, mentally, and then Yahweh Shai is going to come and separate those who endure unto the end physically. All right. So with that, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Kakadash, Shalom to the apostles and the elders of great millstone, Shalom to the Akim and the few apostles that be listening. Lord willing, this is the edifying lesson. Shalom, Kwame Asherala, Wa Abba,